I don't know, this feels important to share. I was thinking about a memory where a friend responded to me in a way that hurt my feelings and induced shame. Like, I said something, and then they kind of made a sarcastic remark, and I immediately just kind of felt attacked and felt kind of defensive and like locked up and like kind of snapped. And I was remembering that memory, and I was having very negative feelings towards that person. And I let myself have those feelings because I think I didn't allow myself to have those feelings towards anyone, but also specifically that person. And yeah, like I didn't allow myself to dislike people before or to feel bothered by people or hurt by people. And that was part of my like shut down reaction, was because I wasn't supposed to be having that feeling and I felt a lot of shame about it. But I also felt like so personally victimized by the entire world for so long, and so resentful and so bitter and so jaded and so ashamed and so down and just so put down by the world. I feel like I felt like that for such a long time. But yeah, anyways, I was thinking about that, and I let it come up. Sometimes those things come up and I'm like, I really can't deal with that. I can't think about that just because it's just so painful. But I let it come up, and I let myself feel very negatively towards that person. And then lately I've been, realizing that none of, you know, none of the things that have hurt me before could really hurt me if I loved myself unconditionally and if I didn't agree with them on some level. And of course, like, a lot of these things are things that happened when I was younger, and so, like, I don't know. I don't think it's kind to dismiss your inner child's, wounds. So, I, you don't have to, I don't have to, like, be like, oh, well, you don't have to feel bad, or, like, if you really loved yourself, that wouldn't hurt you. But I just realized after that memory, just letting it come up, I was like, and I've been aware of this, situation where I remember a memory and I have really strong negative feelings towards the person that, like, I feel victimized by or I feel hurt by. And I know it's irrational. I know it's illogical. I know it's, like, not productive to me or them. And I know that's not really, like, the final point. The final point is not for you to, like, be angry at the person or to be resentful or bitter. Like, that's sign of being stuck, of an emotional process that didn't get to finish. And yeah, lately I've just been realizing, like, since I quit my job and I've just, like, kind of surrendered and succumbed to physical illness and just, like, really realized that I was fighting that so hard because I could not love myself unconditionally unless I was performing unless I was working, unless I was physically well and also attractive. And so lately I've just been realizing that, like, I needed that to validate me and give me worth. And now that that's gone, I realize I don't actually need anything outside of myself to validate me and to give me worth. And anytime I'm going out and seeking and chasing something outside of myself, that's a sign of self-rejection, and that's a sign of conditional love. I'll love myself when I have this. I'll love myself when I am this. I'll love myself when I get this opportunity. I'll feel better when I have this going on. And it's just so conditional. But anyway, so that's the context of this realization. And then this memory happened, and I was just realizing that it doesn't matter that that person hurt my feelings. Like, that's not really the problem, right? I'll read my journal. I said, any of the outside stuff wouldn't matter so much if I loved myself unconditionally. It's not about the people that hurt me, it's about my constant pursuit for external validation. Because that person's remark, or that person's like making fun of me or being sarcastic or being rude, could have just like easily passed if I was like a secure person and comfortable in my skin, or if I had more of a sense of humor around making mistakes and I wasn't hell-bent on being perfect. Yeah, and if I wasn't in constant pursuit of external validation, I needed that person's validation, so whenever they didn't give it to me, it felt painful. And it feels painful when anyone doesn't give me external validation. I say it's not about the people that hurt me, it's about my constant pursuit for external validation. Then it doesn't hurt so bad. Then I am free to be. Shamelessness. Full abandon. Reckless abandon. No more hiding. No more performance. No more explaining myself, excusing myself, seeking approval, suppressing truth. Freedom. Even when I'm making this video, I feel my voice going up and getting stuck here, and I feel it's difficult to breathe because I'm performing or I'm trying to say the right thing. Instead of flowing from a very grounded, rooted place. And speaking from a deeper place in myself. I'm really tired of performing. I think that's why part of the reason why I've been so sick. Because my body simply cannot hold the performance anymore. And I just think about it, like self-rejection, constant self-rejection, or constantly seeking external validation is a form of self-rejection, right? You're telling yourself that as you are not good enough, you need something else outside of you. Most people have that mindset. And I think it is a major part of nervous system dysregulation. I can do all the breath work or breathing protocols. I can do the physical exercise. And I don't have to be perfect about it, but I could do all those things, healing modalities. If fundamentally I just think that I'm wrong, or I think other people are going to think I'm wrong, and I'm constantly looking for reasons either that I am wrong or that I need to not be wrong, and constantly seeking approval and validation, that is like inevitably going to put your nervous system in fight or flight. You're in survival mode. It's similar, if like it's a scarcity sort of way of being. It's like a I don't have enough sort of being, or I am not enough. Yeah, that's basic, survival, fear, anxiety. And now I don't really know. I've been having like a very, deep depression. And I'm actually just like letting myself be depressed. And I feel sad thinking about that because you are not allowed to be depressed, because you have to keep functioning, because you have to keep earning your worth and your right to exist in your place in the world and love. And I've just suppressed depression for so long that it's made me physically ill. I've suppressed parts of myself for so long that it's made me physically ill. Your body, at least that's how I see my situation. I won't, give my body a rest from constantly performing or masking or earning. Well, then my body is going to steal that time back that I've stolen, or steal that energy back that I keep giving out. I can't keep running on empty. But in any case, part of that depression is that my whole existence has been predicated, my whole, way of existing since I was astute enough to pick up on the ways of the world and what one needs to be in order to be safe and loved. Ever since then, I've been, externally motivated by earning validation, motivated by earning praise, motivated by earning attention, seeking attention, chasing. And it's insidious, and it's in everything. It's in the clothes you buy, it's in the perfume you want, it's in the kind of art you want to make and how you want to make art, and it's in what you want to study, and it's in what career path you want to take, and it's who you want to date, and it's how you want to date. It's everything. It's so integral to who you are. And so I think that's part of my just sort of depression, is just that like I physically cannot seek external validation anymore. Or at least I mean, I still can in certain ways, I can still chase attention from in dating or whatever. I don't feel the need to do that, thankfully, but the most principal one is like you're seeking, is in your what you do. What you do is valued more in how you are than how you are or who you are or what you are. And so when you are no longer able to function in ways that you are expected to, it's a form of ego death. If that, obviously that term's just kind of loosely thrown around a lot, but it is a form of ego death, and it is a form of death in general. I feel like I'm grieving the person that used to be able to work and used to be able to do all these things, and honestly, I'm delusionally optimistic about my situation. I think I'll just get better, but the absolutely need for myself to get better and the absolute denial of my situation and my symptoms was making me sicker and less functional in the world. And now I understand that I needed to learn that. Yeah. But I think I'll read the rest of my journal. I've been depressed because I am shedding. My almost entire existence, way of being, identity was predicated on getting external validation and earning love. I was dying. Now I can do and be however and whatever I want, not because I have to. I have to be mindful not to create the same rules and limitations or to fall back into familiar loops. Now I am free to be, identityless, unconcerned with projection, suffering no obligation. I do what feels good. I do what feels right to me. I don't do anything I don't want to do. No striving, no chasing, just being and loving it. I get to live in a world of my own creation, my own little world. I'd like to be a crazy lady, a delusional mystic, a freak, an ethereal being. I no longer have to make sense or fit in or be understood or follow the script. I can be strange, weird. I don't have to agree or relate to people. I don't have to connect with them or control them with my behavior and manipulation. I'm free to coexist with them. I can be comfortable in my own skin and energy around most anyone and in most environments. Will they all feel natural? No. I might stand out. I am peculiar, and that's beautiful. The problem, the sickness, is that I've been abandoning and rejecting my internal world to participate in the external world with less friction. I am then often looking for safety and comfort in other people's internal worlds via acceptance and validation. That's why I wanted to make the videos, because those last two lines are just so sort of revolutionary for me. Like, if you obliterate your own internal world, or if you reject it, or if you suppress it, then you must find comfort and safety and warmth and acceptance and permission in the external world. Okay? The systems are not going to validate you. They're pretty harsh. So you seek it out in other people, in intimacy, in your interpersonal relationships. Because, that other people's, you can get glimpses of other people's internal worlds. And I think that's why we really like gravitate to certain people or certain forms of art, is because them showcasing their internal world greenlights us into accepting our own internal world. So we're constantly oriented outwards, looking for someone to mirror us, to allow us to safely express. But you don't have to find the mirror, and in fact, you cannot wait to find the mirror before you start accepting your internal world or accepting yourself. And also, in looking for the mirror, you become a mirror. Mirroring is a problem that I have. I just mirror other people's characteristics. It's like, I feel really bad because I feel like I just copy people. Because that's just like a learned behavior. It's like, okay, well, they like you if you do what they do. Like, that's just like, I don't know, social skills 101 that I learned intuitively. I was just like, okay, people like what they are most of the time, to some degree. If you just like, people like relating and connection, and so if you just, it sounds psychotic, but yeah, if you just pretend to be what they are, have what they have, or whatever, they will like you. That's what my brain tells me, right? I really don't like that I do that. And I have limits, of course. I have boundaries. And I have certain traits that I allow myself to showcase. But I'm going to read that again. The problem, the sickness, is that I've been abandoning and rejecting my internal world to participate in the external world with less friction. I'm often then looking for safety and comfort in other people's internal worlds via acceptance or validation. That's just kind of crazy. Abandoning and rejecting my internal world to participate in the external world with less friction. Yeah, so just avoiding friction is kind of like the root cause. And the way forward is not to avoid friction, but to be able to sustain your internal world amongst or amidst friction. But yeah, that really just, that explains, being so drained by people. Because I really love people, really like people. But it just drains the shit out of me. It feels exhausting. It feels painful even. And I think it has contributed to my chronic illnesses. But now I'm sure it will take a minute to integrate. Like, these are obviously learned behaviors that are very, like, rooted. Our nervous system is, like, rooted around them as, like, safe behaviors. So it may take a minute to integrate. I don't really know. At the same time, I feel like this depression and this, like, this chronic illness and just, like, this, just kind of just, like, this life event that I'm having where I just, like, I fucking give up. I fucking give up. I feel like I feel like it's just kind of switched something off in my brain, to where just, like, I know that I can't do it anymore. And so I just won't. And I'm just kind of at my wit's end, and I'll take the consequences. I'm sure that it will be painful to be rejected and be painful to be, we're just internally rejecting to avoid external rejection, and I'm sure external rejection hurts. And now I know how much it costs to internally reject yourself, that I just cannot do it anymore. It's just, now I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. I just can't. I don't know. That just was super revelatory. I don't think that's a word. Revelatory? It might be a word to me. And that's where I'm at right now. Yeah. I'd like to say more. But now, there's kind of no point to do anything. Like I don't have any urge or motivation to do anything, because for so long I've been motivated by external things, and now that motivation's gone, yeah, I have to give myself a moment to like reboot. Now I can be motivated by just like whatever. I don't know what I value, because I valued external validation, even though I thought I valued other things. I really valued external validation above all else. So now I'm just kind of letting myself do nothing and just sit and just be. I think it's really important to like not, be addicted to things in this process, because, external maybe validation is not the right word, but seeking, safety and comfort or whatever in external things, because your internal world is so desolate or not taken care of, also applies to, addictions or, consumption. Yeah, it's not just a people to people thing. It's also how you relate to objects and to food, right? I have I won't call it food addiction because maybe that's just a bit strong, but I eat for pleasure and comfort, and I eat my emotions, and I've had binge eating cycles before, and also restriction as well. I wouldn't say I have an eating disorder, thankfully, but I don't have healthy eating habits as a result of this. But now I allow myself to enjoy what I eat, and there will be times that I will allow myself to, partake in the pleasure of being a human being, like, not a Puritan. But it was before, it was like every single meal needed to be so satisfying and decadent, so good, because I was just not internally satisfied or just feeling safe or comfortable. And now I just, food is fuel. Food is something fuel that I can enjoy, but ultimately is fuel. And I'm no longer, needing that constant, dopamine hit. So, yeah, really, I think this is a huge, just domino. The internal world that you reject, or the internal self that you reject, I think that's a major cause of a lot of destructive habits that people partake in. In dating, you need that person to be beautiful, and you need to date that person and project all this shit onto them, and then possess them in a way, because you don't feel like enough, or you're, not accepting yourself, or you're performing and you feel like you need something outside yourself to like stabilize you. It applies to so much. And I think I was able to have this realization the less I, reached for those things. And it's like self-fulfilling though too at the same time, because now that I've had that realization, I feel it's easier to not reach for those things. So you have to do a bit of both on the front and the back end. I'm just going to read it again because it just it's the thesis statement. The problem, the sickness, is that I've been abandoning and rejecting my internal world to participate in the external world with less friction. I am often looking for safety and comfort in other people's internal worlds via acceptance and validation. And you can never get that. You can never get internal that's just literally what you need. You will keep seeking and chasing in the external for what you really need, which is internal acceptance and love. Alright, that's all I have to say in my own way. Goodbye.